Welcome back to the Rank Mogul Show, where we rank the mess so you don't have to touch it with your bare hands. And today, oh yes, the tea is nuclear. The feds done cracked open Diddy's Pandora's box of freak-offs, and y'all, the receipts are physical. The freak roster is here, the faces are out, and I have thoughts. Buckle up. Week 2 of Diddy's federal racketeering and sex trafficking trial just kicked off like it's episode 2 of a Netflix docuseries called Puffy and the Peen Parade. And the feds said, surprise. Here's a gallery of grown men who allegedly got flown out like IG models to do backflips in hotel rooms while Cassie watched or participated depending on the day. That's right, folks, the freak-offs have a face now. A whole cast list. Like a freaky Avengers lineup. And let's talk about that term real quick. Freak-off? What in the R&B hell is this terminology? Sounds like a BET Uncut spin-off or a secret level in Mortal Kombat. Cassie, Diddy, and a mystery man all tangled up like a pretzel in a Marriott suite? Phew, chilly. The prosecutors dropped a doc dump like they were unloading a hard drive from a laptop that's seen too much. Included in the evidence, clear as day photos of the alleged male escorts hired for these, multi-state mutual gymnastics tournaments. And guess what? The jury got front row seats. They rolled out the PowerPoint, gave jurors their own little monitors, and said, behold the men behind the madness. Let's meet some of our stars. First up, we got Jules, not to be confused with Jules Santana. He was allegedly the third wheel in the Intercontinental Hotel incident in 2016. You know, the one where Diddy allegedly turned into Thanos on Cassie? Yeah. Jules was in the room. You ever been part of a three-way that ends in felony assault? That's gotta mess with your Yelp reviews. Next contestant, Jonathan Odie. Or, as he's allegedly known in this saga, Diddy's sex slave. That's not even me exaggerating, that's literally what they're saying. Jonathan supposedly had multiple freak-offs with the bad boy boss and Cassie. Which, I guess, makes him the employee of the month. Then we got Jake from LA, white guy, reportedly bringing some West Coast spice to the mix. Craig from Miami representing the 305 with, I assume, oil and optimism. Brian from NYC, black man found on Craigslist. Which, I don't even have a joke for that. Craigslist? In 2016? That's a different kind of bold. And then there's Skylar. The cherry on this freaky parfait. Skylar was booked via an escort agency called, wait for it, Cowboys 4 Angels. I repeat, Cowboys 4 Angels. Sir, are you a gigolo or a background character on Yellowstone? What are we doing here? Now look, the freak-offs might be fun to joke about, but it's getting real in that courtroom. Cassie reportedly identified a few of the dudes from the lineup, like it's an X-rated police sketch. But others? She couldn't remember. And can we blame her? When you've seen that many swinging sausages under strobe lights, details get fuzzy. Diddy's team is, of course, saying this is all nonsense. But between Cassie's testimony, the surveillance videos, the court documents, and now this escort expose, it's looking like Diddy got more legal problems than platinum records. And he got a load of platinum. So what's next? Will more freak-off alumni step forward? Will Don Richard start naming names in exchange for credibility rehab? Is Cowboys 4 Angels about to issue a press release? Whatever happens, I'll be here to rank the madness, break it down, and call it exactly what it is, one of the wildest court cases in entertainment history. This has been the Rank Mogul Show. Don't forget to like, share, and comment your favorite freak-off character below. And remember, if you gotta fly someone out for a threesome, at least keep it off federal radar. Welcome back to the Rank Mogul Show, where the court of public opinion is always in session, and baby, today we're talking class action freakery. That's right. After seeing those leaked pics of the alleged male escorts Diddy flew out for the infamous freak-offs, folks are starting to connect the dots. And all the arrows? They're starting to point toward Cassie. Now, hold on. Before you clutch your pearls, hear me out. Because while the headlines love to paint her as the innocent girlfriend forced into madness by Puff Daddy the pervert, there's another angle. A freaky little legal loophole that the internet's whispering about louder and louder. What if Cassie was the ringleader all along? Let's break this down. According to court docs, Cassie didn't just attend these freak-offs, she participated, coordinated, and in some cases, identified the men brought in for the sessions. Some reports even suggest she reached out to these guys directly. I mean, if you're personally approving talent like you work at a modeling agency for bedroom battles, are you a victim? Or a manager? And if that's the case, those very same male escorts, the ones whose faces are now being shown on courtroom monitors like it's a game show, might have a legal claim against her. You see, if any of those guys were coerced, misled, or recorded without full consent, and Cassie helped facilitate that? Well then ding ding ding, that's accessory behavior, sweetie. Enter, the FreakOff lawsuit. Imagine it. Jonathan Odie, Jules, Jake, Craig, Brian from Craigslist, and Skylar from Cowboys 4 Angels, walking into court like an erotic boy band reunion, suing Cassie Ventura. They've got trauma, they've got receipts, and they've got a case. All it takes is one savvy lawyer with a billboard and a jingle like, "Were you freaked off by a pop star?" Call 1-800-GET-PAID. And y'all, it wouldn't be hard for them to argue that Cassie was complicit, especially now that she's walked away with $20 million from Diddy and another $10 million from the Intercontinental Hotel. That's $30 million in hush money and trauma tax. And those FreakOff fellas are probably looking around like, wait, where's our cut? Let's not pretend lawsuits don't follow the money. And right now, Cassie's the only one from FreakOff HQ who's walked away with a check big enough to make them all say hmm. If she was the middlewoman, the one facilitating those hotel meetups, encouraging the cameras, and keeping the peace while Puff did his puffery, then she could very well be liable. Immunity in a civil case ain't automatic. Especially if new testimony shows she wasn't just along for the ride, she was steering the car. And imagine the optics, Diddy in court, Cassie in court, and 6 or 7 male escorts all showing up like the Avengers of adult entertainment, demanding justice. Cassie's whole "I was a victim too" campaign might start to look a little shady when the very people she allegedly helped exploit start pointing fingers at her. So yeah, don't be surprised if a new lawsuit pops up soon. The FreakOff fallout ain't done yet, and Cassie might just go from plaintiff to defendant real quick. Stay tuned, because you know I'm watching this circus like it's a front row seat at the Source Awards. This is the Rank Mogul Show, where the mess gets ranked, the tea gets spilled, and the freaks, they get litigious. Can the FreakOff Men sue Cassie for a piece of that $30 million? Yo. Cassie just walked away with $30 million, 20 from Diddy and 10 from the Intercontinental Hotel. But here's the twist nobody's talking about. Can some of the men who were involved in those FreakOffs sue Cassie now? Because let's be real, according to lawsuits and witness accounts, Cassie wasn't just a bystander. Some say she initiated or facilitated those wild, high-risk events, meaning she might have played a role in getting people involved. And a few of those men weren't just random guests, some were sex workers, possibly trafficked or exploited under pressure. So now that Cassie cashed out, could she be held liable too? Here's how that lawsuit might go down. 1. Civil conspiracy. If Cassie helped arrange freak-offs or knowingly brought men into a harmful setup, that's textbook civil conspiracy. Especially if those encounters involve drugs, coercion, or deception. 2. Emotional and psychological trauma. If any of those men suffered abuse, humiliation, or mental distress, and Cassie was part of the machinery, that could open the door for a civil claim. 3. Negligence. Even if she didn't directly hurt anyone, if she knew what was going on and let it happen, that's legal negligence. If people were trafficked or exploited under her watch, that's not small. 4. Misrepresentation or duress. If any of those men were promised connections, fame, or money, and were then forced into degrading situations, Cassie's potential involvement makes her part of the problem. But here's the catch. Cassie might have legal immunity. Her settlement with Diddy could have come with sealed agreements or cooperation clauses protecting her from further lawsuits, especially if she's cooperating with the feds. Still, if enough male victims came forward together and claimed Cassie helped orchestrate what happened to them, her payout might not be safe. Especially the $10 million she got from the hotel. That could be tied to the very environment where these freak-offs happened. And remember, if Cassie admitted to anything publicly, like helping or witnessing stuff, that could come back as legal evidence. Her own words might haunt her in civil court. Bottom line? This thing isn't over. What looked like a big win for Cassie could turn into a whole new round of lawsuits. If even one of those men lawyer up, the $30 million might not last. Let's see how it plays out.